Sorry, by the way, there's some audio crackling and weird things that happen in the first part of this recording, but I'm not putting in that much effort to re-record this, so fuck you. Bienvenue, you collection of assorted flotsam and jepsen. I'm back, and I'm here to continue talking about Homestuck again. Didn't expect for more than 500 of you people to be interested in the first one, so now I guess I have to turn this into a long-term project to satiate your gaping, slobbering mouths. Full disclosure, before we continue, I've got some hot tips for new viewers like myself. Apparently, MS Paint Adventures were originally written with forum prompts in mind as well. This does stop, apparently, eventually, and it kind of explains a lot of the weird choices that get made by characters and insights into jokes that I otherwise would have been confused by. Like, I didn't understand why
Andrew Hussey.
It's like going out of his way to examine posters that I had no interest in. But it turns out it was because some freak on the internet wanted to know. So that makes a lot of sense. Also, don't worry about my tone when it comes to continuing on with this series. I'm probably going to become very invested in this by the end, so don't let general anguish fool you, Homestuck fans. We're sleeping in the same bed and drinking the same cup of warm milk. Also, full disclosure, this one's a little bit more scripted because there's a lot of things happening in this time. This act was dense, and a lot of you decided to watch the previous one, so fuck it, I guess this is now my life, and I better put at least one sample cup's worth of effort in. So, let's start at the beginning. It starts with a little guy in a desert who finds a big thing. It is like a big sort of bunker thing with a weird logo on the top, and he's like, ooh, what could it be? Fuck you. Turns out John's not dead, but his house is in like a void or something. That's crazy. Wow. Also, the world might be destroyed. Who knows? Also, you thought this was just like a regular like reading experience. Turns out it's actually got an interactive element now. And in the beginning, we have a little opportunity to walk around the house as John and click on things, which is kind of cool. It's a nice way to sort of establish the setting. Without having to deal with all of the shit being thrown at you at once, and it's a pretty neat way of sort of ingratiating you into the place. Okay, back to bullshit. Turns out everybody who's been playing this game and manages to bloody beep the zippity wee gets zipped to another dimension, and everything in a few miles radius gets obliterated by a comet. How exciting! So that's happening a lot, and the world is basically being bombarded with comets. Comets. Go to hell. So Rose tells John a happy birthday, and they work together to get the PDA, which was thrown out of John's inventory last episode, and also the voice thing is being weirdly insistent about doing wacky shit. Never mind that, though. Back to the future, kind of, in the desert, where we watch this guy being the voice in John's head and communicating with him, and we occasionally get insights of what the hell's going on through GameSpot walkthroughs written by Rose, which tries to damnedest to make clear what the hell's going on in the world. It's actually less clear because what the fuck? Oh, fucking, there's so many words. Anyway, the Curdle sprite gets sprited again with John's dead grandmother's fucking ashes. And then he tries to get his copy of the game to the weird alchemical table and fix everything, but then Rose's connection dies because her laptop battery runs out. Whoops! So John asks his other buddy to get his copy of the game up and become the client and help instead. So Rose goes outside to the generator to power the laptop, and wow, there's a lot of meteorites. And the other guy, called Dave Strider, also known as Fuck You Forever, is another character we have to deal with. I'm sorry, I don't like this guy very much already because I hate his guts and sunglasses and hair. Fuck this guy. He's so... I don't like him. It's at this point that it becomes clear that the narrative voice is changing depending on who we're following, so that's neat, and also somehow Dave is more insufferably oblique with his language and Sylladex fuckery than John. But he does have a funny website with these chuckleheads who fall downstairs, which is funny. And I will now do a rendition of that.
I can't wait to be a useless piece of shit all day and play all these games. Fuck. I'm falling down all these stairs.
I warned you about stairs, bro. I told you no.
It keeps happening.
I told you, man. I told you about stairs.
Very good. Insert applause here. So, turns out that Dave lost his copy of the game a little bit ago by accidentally shooting his sword out of his Sylladex and killing a crow. And I hate that I now understand enough of this universe that I found this a legitimately funny anecdote as opposed to a lol to random funny. I fucking hate myself and this. Also, there's a weird slime monster in John's house now. Whoa. Actually, it's an imp, but we'll figure that out later. Back to Rose. She fights her mother, who she totally hates, and not really, obviously, and tries to go outside. John fights an imp, and it's an actual interactive sequence again, and he's leveled up, and now, God, there's more words I don't understand and mean nothing. Very good. At least this time, the joke of leveling up non-specific and unquantifiable strange stats actually makes sense to me this time, because it's like Final Fantasy, where it's like your charisma and your strength and your intelligence level up, but what the fuck does that mean? None of this means anything, game. Fucking Cloud Strife, go back to school. So then, John's grandma, who is now fused with the weird ghost sprite thing, tells him that he's in a place called the Medium, and basically Earth is doomed, and since he did the thing with the sprite, and he got split into good and evil halves, and they're fighting now, and he has to go up into the sky, into the realm of unparalleled creativity, and help fight in the battle between light and dark, which light is destined to lose, and all he can do is keep climbing upwards toward the sky, and he'll ascend, and fuck it. It gets very heady for a sec at this point, because we have multiple different perspectives to keep track of, so bear with me for a second! Rose tries to help John level up and figure out the weird alchemy table, and also climb upwards, but she disconnects because the generator she was using outside the crypt of her dead cat overheats, but then her mother opens a panic room in the crypt to allow her to escape from the meteorites. Dave keeps getting pranked by his definitely cool brother with puppet anuses, and one specific puppet called Lil Cow, so Dave goes to the roof to confront him and steal his copy of the game so he can help John. A fourth friend that we haven't met yet can probably see the future, if the way she talks about things on the weird chat room thing is correct. And that guy in the future gets given a name. He's the Wayward Vagabond, and he attempts to open some cans in the facilities he's in, fails, learns about human interaction, and is so hungry that he eats the book. He creates a small can-based village, which is populated not only by the cans of beans and custard he finds, but also a stash of Tab energy drinks. He also finds a teleportation chamber in the place that he's living in. He's found, but is not really interested in staying for this bullshit. He just wants to get as much crap as he can, so he grabs the energy drinks and cans of soup, tries to escape, but he presses too many buttons and then it flies into the sky and lands next to a weird ancient tower that for some reason was created when a comet that was summoned by something comes in and hits the Earth. Also, John's dad has been captured by a bunch of imps and manages to escape through his nimble-fingered hijinks, and John gets so tired he falls asleep on the roof just before he's about to fight an ogre. And he dreams about the symbol in the sky to the musical stylings of... Wait, what? Fucking Toby Fox? Okay. Alright. So that's a synopsis of the freaking chapter. What did I like about it? So, now that the initial hurdle of all the fucking bullshit extravaganza in the first act is over, or at the very least has sort of stabilized, and you're not getting more information that you can't fucking handle, I'm starting to get into the sort of world building. Don't get me wrong, I have to fight to make myself not skip 8,000 pages in a row, but the logic is starting to make sense. There's even a joke about this phenomenon specific to the fucking MS Paint adventures, where Dave decides to read a specific MS Paint adventure and says to himself that he just does not have the time for this bullshit. That's pretty funny. Also, the writing and theming was pretty strong in this act. That sort of like simultaneous disgust but connection to family and being a little bit too close to comfort it's expounded upon, and in this case with Dave, he's very fond of his brother, but he can't help but feel very disturbed by the puppet bullshit. He wants to believe that it's all in the service of ironic humor, but he can't really keep that up for that long, can he? Also, the art and music is very, very good, and some jokes really landed this time. There's a specific quote, the misattribution joke that really hits, especially when we get an excerpt from fucking The Wasteland. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. That's a tribute to American sports legend Charles Barkley. Fuck you, T.S. Eliot. Alright, what did I find tiresome and maybe not so good? The perspective shifts in this act made my head unscrew itself and vomit because it was spinning so fast. There is so little consistent focus in terms of sticking on a particular character that it kind of hurts to keep track of everyone. It's like Pulp Fiction, if it shot you with a gun and kicked you in your testicles a lot, ow. Also, the dense, self-referential writing is still a lot, but it hasn't really escalated at least. But you know, it's a lot. Oh yeah, and also we had to be reminded of the fact that this was written in the heady late 2000s with funny flash games and humor and Newgrounds.com's popularity, so we get our first slur, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we got a good juicy R word, and it definitely has not aged well. Your prize is a new car! And also a new car! And fuck you! Yeah, I guess that's it. I really am in it for the long run now. I can't really stop reading. But at least it can't get more convoluted than this, right? Right? Ugh, fuck.